Welcome back to Everlasting Summer, part 49? Did I get that right? I think I got that right. We are just chilling in the mines with Miku, about to die, Masha, about to die, reminiscent about the time we met. So, let's continue on. And of course, we continue on with dot dot dot. More dots. My whole body was aching. Oh, are we not gonna, actually get to see the flashback? Aw. Perhaps my brain couldn't resist. Still can't read. I'm recording this in the same night I recorded Friday's episodes. Woo. Perhaps my brain couldn't rest peacefully because it was distracted by thousands of signals from my nerve endings. Somehow I rose and woke up Masha. After all, we were planning to survive. How long have I been in this mine? Fork after fork, tunnel after tunnel. Masha was whispering something all the time. To the left, to the right, to the left, to the right. Seems that I won't be able to handle even one more turn. But suddenly the flashlight highlighted a tight passage in the darkness, and we soon found ourselves in an open chamber. Look. Who says that? I'm assuming Masha said that, but I just didn't show. Masha was pointing somewhere into the darkness. I flashed the light there and saw a neckerchief lying on the ground. Oh, lovely. This is not... No, let's go. Dead person? At last we got out of the labyrinth and found ourselves in a small room. Uh-oh. Did I skip anything? No. I always gotta check that. There were broken bottles. The hell made that noise? I was just moving in my chair. Whatever. There were broken bottles all over the floor, pipes stretched along the walls, and at the end of them were rusted valves. A mess of graffiti was scrawled all over the walls. At least it's a change of scenery. I sighed. The flashlight had almost died, and I had to shake it up every 10 seconds to slightly recover the battery. Exhausted, Masha dropped to the floor. We can't stop. I'm sure there's an exit somewhere here. How do you know? I looked at her. She obviously had no energy anymore. Masha was struggling with her exhaustion and could lose consciousness any second. I just know it. I smiled, trying to look encouraging. Well, if so. She leaned against the wall and stood up hardly. Sit here for now. I will see what's further on. I'm afraid. Masha trembled. I'm not going far. She raised her eyes to me, full of hope, and nodded almost imperceptibly. I looked around and noticed a heavy iron door. My attempts to open it came to nothing. It was completely rusted shut. Ugh, I wish that pipe was here now. But there was no other choice. I braced my leg on the wall and threw all my weight against the handle. My muscles bulged, my forehead was awash with sweat, my vision darkened. But the door didn't budge, just gave off a hollow rattle. It's alright, wait a second. I shouted over to Masha, gasping for breath. Need to find some sort of stick. I ran over to Masha, bent down and smiled. There's definitely an exit behind this door. Huh? She looked at me wearily. I ran out of the room and began to scour the mine in search of something suitable. The flashlight was about to die, and having blinked its last, it finally went out. I panicked and began to blunder around, trying to find the way back. However, I kept running into walls and couldn't remember at all how I got here. Masha! Masha! I screamed, hoping that she would hear me. Suddenly a sound came from behind me. A light appeared and my shadow appeared on the ground, stretching far off into the darkness. I was rooted to the spot by fear. I heard a seemingly familiar voice. What's wrong, Semyon? Got lost? Oh, fuck. I slowly turned around and saw Lena holding a flaming torch in her hand. Her face was disfigured by an inhuman grin. I've come for you. This is the same Lena that I saw at the square last evening. This is not the same Lena you saw at the square. The same as in Olga's cabin. That was Lena, and at the same time, not Lena. This creature was more like those Illyana's. I'm coming for you. You, who are you? I squeezed out. It's Lena. Don't you recognize me? She burst into devilish laughter. You completely forgot about me while having fun with them. Words stuck in my throat. That's alright. There's nobody left now. Just the two of us. Just the two of us. You can make me. So you did everything? Bingo! Not everything, of course. For a second, her face became guilty. But then she grinned again. I'm not going to do a different voice, right? She'll just be Lena. Scared little Lena. Savvy was first. She was always so annoying. She was Miss Reliability. Diligent, hardworking, always everywhere. Agreeing with everyone. Yuck. Boy, did she scream when I was tearing off her limbs, huh? It's a pity you didn't get to see it at all. Didn't get to see it at all. Her mouth began to tremble. Her saliva dripped out of it, and her eyes rolled up. And then Elisa. Everybody is annoying me. I don't need anyone. Now she's hanging peacefully alone on a tree. However, it wasn't easy to lift her up there, but it had a much greater effect. How you all screamed, huh? Like pigs in a slaughterhouse. Lena's face was twisted by a grin of sick pleasure, but how did she do it? Alright, just that bitch Miku left to deal with, and then it's over. She produced a giant cleaver covered in blood from behind her back. Well, actually, it seemed to me that she was lost in thought. I don't know what that crap in the form of Ilyana was. Her and the other pioneers weren't killed by me, but does it really matter now? She shook the torch and it flared out in a second. Wait here, I'll be quick. Her devilish laughter came from behind me. That means she went after Masha. I must do something quickly. But I have absolutely no idea which way to run. How about turn around and then run in that direction? The darkness completely disoriented me. Screw it. I ran the way I assumed Lena went. After only a short way, I painfully smashed into a wall. I turned around, trying to move slowly, but I stumbled upon another obstacle, fell down, and screamed in pain. Trying to rise, I realized I couldn't put any weight on my left leg. Seems like I twisted it. I tried to crawl, but it worked out badly. The whole mine floor was covered with sharp stones, rusty rails, and broken boards. For only a short way, my arms were torn to bleeding pieces of meat, and my eyes couldn't be opened because of the dust and sand. I fumbled in my pockets and pulled out the matchbox. Tried to light a match with my shaking hands, but couldn't get them to light. Calm down, I muttered. At last, after the 5th try, the mine was lightened by a dim light. I quickly oriented myself and worked out which way I have to run. It seemed to me that only a few seconds passed before I found myself in the room where I'd left Masha. The last match went out, but I had just enough time to see Lena raising her cleaver above Masha. I rushed over to them, screaming, and dived forward. How did you rush over to them with your twisted leg that you can't put weight on? My hands suddenly collided to something. I fell to the ground and began smashing everything around me. Most of my punches didn't hit the mark, but then my hands met something soft. I heard a moan and dead silence set in. I rolled onto my back and started breathing heavily, inhaling the dry air greedily. Masha? I called. I heard quiet sobs. Are you still alive? Yes, she whispered. Did she get you? No. I began to fumble in the darkness and soon found the torch and a lighter. Shapeless shadows began to dance on the walls, and I saw Lena's body sprawled on the floor. She seemed to be alive. I was going to finish her. Finish her. Don't. Masha crawled right over to me and grabbed my leg. But we can't just... You don't need to. Of course, Lena wasn't to blame for everything. But she's the devil's incarnate. The devil incarnate. There's no way we can let a human like her, if she can still be called a human, live. It's a little harsh, don't you think? But when I looked at Masha, I realized that I can't. I just can't. I took up the cleaver from the floor, and twisting it in my hands, I decided that it would make a perfect crowbar. Those things, that's thin metal. No, that's not how this works. That's not how any of this works. Going over to the door, I jammed it into the wheel and pulled on it as hard as I could. The door creaked and opened. Fresh air streamed into the room. We're saved. I returned to Masha, helped her to get up, and we left the room, leaving Lena lying unconscious. Beyond the door, there was a short corridor with a ladder at the end of it, which led up to a grating. I climbed up and pulled on it with all my strength. The grating fell down with a crash, and we climbed out. I tried. I fell to the grass, exhausted, and looked around. Again, this square. Again, this camp. The bright red dawn was breaking in the east, burning the tops of a distant forest. The last stars winked at me, unaware of everything that had happened here, in this hell. Masha rested her head on my shoulder and pointed up to the sky with a trembling hand. I wish we were there. Though we got out of the dungeon, nothing is over. You just wish we were in fucking space. Crowds of zombie Olyanas are wandering through the camp. An insane Lena is lying underneath, and heaven knows how much more devilry we will encounter here. I really want to sleep. I didn't know how to answer her, because I don't know where to run, don't know where we can be safe. Don't know how to return to our world. Sleep. Oh, sleep. I patted Masha's head. There. Sorry, I do that all the time. Listen, this would make a great script for a film. She laughed out loud. I looked at her in horror. Masha was smiling. But her smile wasn't diabolical like that of Lena's. It was pure, honest, maybe even childish. All her exhaustion had gone away, and her eyes were shining with a cheerful spark. What happened to you? I could hardly speak. Everything is fine. She lay down on my shoulder again. That was the last scene. Wait. What? 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 Suddenly I felt my strength leaving me. My vision darkened. My consciousness began to float away somewhere. I was lying in silence, and only the sound of Masha's breath could be heard. Not the grasshoppers chirping, like all of them had died at last, but only Masha's steady breathing. And her smile. Why is her smile making sounds? That was okay. Wait. What? No. No. Oh, okay. Because I was about to say, is this going to be like the ending credits? Like, no. Dun, 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 dun. I struggled to open my eyes. Bright moonlight reflected on the water, cheerfully skipping on the waves. A light night breeze was blowing, and somewhere near away, an owl was hooting. I looked at Masha, who peacefully slept nearby, covered by my shirt. Oh. What a dream. My mobile phone dimly showed the time. 3 a.m. We'd better go to bed, or tomorrow Olga will make us... Will make us what? I just decided to wake Masha up, but I suddenly noticed an open script and a pen next to her. I quickly went through several pages and was horrified. It was completely identical to what happened in my dream. Bile rose in my throat and my eyes darkened. Masha rolled over, opened her eyes, and looked at me. You awake? Did you write this? I asked, thick-tongued. Yes, what's wrong? I didn't know how to answer. I just couldn't understand what was going on. You were sleeping so cutely that I didn't want to wake you, and the grasshoppers were chirping so loudly, so I... She smiled. Wait, but how are you... But we're here now. Wait, but we're here now. I mean, we're not pioneers. We're filming here and all that kind of stuff, aren't we? Yes, of course we are. Masha looked at me uncomprehendingly. Maybe I woke up, read what she's wrote, and then fell asleep again. You're drenched with sweat. She fumbled in the pockets, with the pioneer uniform lying next to her, and gave me a handkerchief. A typical Russian handkerchief, whatever, embroidered with colorful flowers. I took it and suddenly felt a surge of warmth. The same warmth when you feel someone dear to your heart gives you a present. Shall we go? Masha started getting dressed. Yes, let's go. I barely stood up and went down to the river. Cold water revived me, and that dream stopped seeming so real. After all, it was just a dream, wasn't it? On our way back, Masha held my hand and chatted about everything non-stop. We came to the square. I hope those creatures will let me sleep at least tonight, she said thoughtfully. Who? The grasshoppers. Ah, yes, that'd be great. Well, I'll go. She looked at me keenly, turned around, and was about to leave. Wait. Aww. I grabbed her hand, pulled her towards me, and kissed her hard. Because sometimes a dream is just a dream. And reality is reality. Aww. That's cute. Is it over now? Please don't be over now. Oh, what's gonna be coming out Wednesday and Friday? Oh, it's over now. Shit. Every story has its beginning and its end. Every story has its outline, its own outline, synopsis, key point, the contents, key points, a prologue and an epilogue. That's a long-ass epilogue. And there's no book which, if you read it again, would not reveal new details you didn't notice before. Every story has its beginning and its end. Almost every. Dun dun dun. There you go. It's always such a long pause there. So that was Miku's route. It was horribly interesting. Like, extremely interesting. Like, so many twists. It was really cool, though. I'm now faced with the problem of, I was hoping this route would keep going on until at least Friday. Because I'm going to Florida on Tuesday. So, where's this? I didn't see this picture. Yeah, I'm going to Florida on Tuesday, so I don't know what's coming out Wednesday and Friday. I mean, let me get the thing up, the guide up, and I'll look at the list of routes. I could possibly start. Yeah, the next route is supposed to be Yulia's route. I could do the. Oh. There's no guide for this one, so it would be legitimate just playing it and seeing how it ends. But I could do the DLC. I think I'm probably gonna do the DLC. Start the DLC route at least. Have that come out while I'm away. I think I was told to do the DLC route first or Yulia's route first. I don't remember. I think it was Yulia's route first, actually. So maybe we'll start that one since we've got. Oh wait, no, we need to do Semyon's route. I can just do that off camera then, because Semyon's route is going to take a long time. If you don't want to stay through the end of this, I'm just going to talk for a little bit. Then you can leave now. I mean, you would anyway. So yeah, I'm just going to be talking a little bit about this. So like, yeah. So Semyon's route, you have to, or at least how I understand it, is not okay. So to get the good ending, to get the bad ending with a girl, you have to have at least 6 points, but less than 9 points with her. So each choice you give to them is a point, right? So I say this one is for like Ilyana's route. That means that's a point for her. You have to keep every girl under 6 points. So I'd have to sit there with like a notepad or something and keep track of how many points each girl has, which things to take, because the Semyon's route thing just says, do nothing, just keep sitting, remain seated, and do not follow the voice, which are not things you can choose, but you apparently have to get the good ending with Semyon's route to unlock Yulia's route. This route is available after completing all 5 good endings plus Miku's route. Let's see, Slavia, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, Semyon counts in it, plus Miku, so the 6 good endings. Alright, so I think I'm just gonna do Semyon's route and then record Yulia's route for Wednesday, Friday, and Monday. Yeah, that's probably it for me today. That's probably it. Wow, that's it for me today. I'm done with this video. I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.